Welcome back to THE Network. Today I'm joined by Brian Oliver, and we're here to discuss his career as a hairstylist. Brian, thank you for joining us today. I would love to find out about how you were inspired to become a hairdresser and how you managed your journey in becoming an on-set stylist.
Well, that's quite a story there. It was a long time coming. I started out in Maryland. I had a high school friend whose father owned a small salon in Maryland. I started working there part-time after school and on weekends while still in high school. I guess I was in 9th grade. After that, by graduation, I decided that I was moving to DC and I was going to work in Georgetown. I found a salon that I really admired and that I wanted to work for, and they wanted to mentor me.
So Brian, what inspired you to even get in the beauty business?
Well, when I was younger, probably around 10 or so, maybe even a bit younger, whenever knew I could pick up a magazine and read it, I started begging my mother to buy Vogue magazine for me, and I used to go through it like it was holy grail. And I was obsessed with beauty and hair and makeup and the models, and it was just something. I thought it was the most amazing thing ever, and I just was driven by it.
So what our audience is interested in, and we get many questions from the outside world saying, well, how do you become an on-set stylist? Like, how did your journey of being interested in beauty and reading magazines, how did you actually go about becoming a top hairstylist?
Well, before I moved to New York, I worked in Georgetown, like I said, with a few at a few salons, and the two people that really inspired me were Kent Lattimore and Terry Grau, who were already freelance stylists at that point. And so I used to just ask them about every minute detail of the business that I could, and they, encouraged me and, gave me ideas on how I could go about to start a freelance career on my own. And the first thing I did was move to New York City.
So what was your first big break?
My first big break was I met an agent out at the nightclub through a friend of mine, Trina De Niro, Robert De Niro's oldest daughter. And it was just by chance he was a hair and makeup agent. And he asked me one day he gave me a call and asked me if I was free, that a hairdresser hadn't shown up for a photo shoot and he needed me to fill in. Was I available? And I said, of course, yes, I'm available. And he asked me if I had, to bring my kit with me, and I was like, well, what kit? And he's like, your blow dryer, brush, hairspray, curling iron, things like that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I have that covered. So I threw all my things in whatever I had in the house that day. I threw them in a bag, and I went running over to this location. And unbeknownst to me, I actually went through the whole photo shoot without ever inquiring what I was actually doing, what this photo shoot was for. I was just so excited to be on a photo shoot. I just kind of forgot to ask what we were shooting. So at the end of the shoot, everything went really well. Everyone, was happy with the turnout. And so finally I asked, oh, by the way, what we just shoot? What did we do? And he said, oh, it's Mexican Vogue.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, the first photo shoot I ever did was Mexican Vogue.
That is so incredible. What's interesting to me is I try to say to new people, always be ready, because you never know when that call is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And usually it's when another stylist, or in some cases, models, etc., when they actually cancel and the clients are looking for an immediate replacement.
A lot of people have gotten their start that way.
Right. So when you got the call, were you prepared?
Not necessarily, because that was a time it's before, you know, Instagram and the internet, and you know, it was no way to be prepared for that at that time. We're talking the 80s here, and I don't want to give away my age, but why not? You know, I earned my stripes. And so it was a different time, and you had to really find that path. The path wasn't laid for you back then. You had to find it and find your way on your own. And it was just innate and instinct and luck that brought me there.
So when you made the decision to get serious and move to New York, what was your plan?
I really didn't have a plan. It was really flying by the seat of my pants. I was kind of naive about the whole fashion business. I just knew I wanted to be in it, and that I could do it, and I had the talent for it, and it was just a matter of time and luck and connections.
How did you get started in doing hair behind the scenes for the runway shows?
Well, I was working at the Roger Thompson for Barney's hair salon in New York, when Barney's was on 17th Street and 7th Avenue, the original one, which is now back open again. And he was, he was a great man. He was Vidal Sassoon's creative director for all those years that, you know, these famous signature cuts were coming out. And he had another stylist there who was doing a lot of runway shows, and he asked me to be his assistant. And the first one was Bill Blass in 1988, I believe. And that was the first fashion show I ever did. Iman was the first model I ever did at this show. She was lovely. I was, you know, just a wet behind the ears young little assistant, and I did her hair, and she loved it. And from that point on, I didn't have any fear. I mean, once I conquered Iman, what was I going to be scared of after that? You know?
So there's so many facets to being a hairdresser. I know that you worked a lot and have worked a lot with celebrities. Tell us a little bit about your history with Donna Karan and some of the other great celebrities that you've done.
Okay. So, I was Donna's hairdresser for 13 years. She was lovely. I did everything with her, all her photo shoots, all her events, all her fashion shows, everything. I've traveled with her around the world. It was a great opportunity, and she was a great client, lovely.
And you've done so many other celebrities. Like, share your experience. Was it for film? Was it for movie junkets?
I never really did any films. I wasn't into that medium. It was mostly photo shoots, commercials, music videos, things of that sort. Not movies, but yes, TV shows. I had the opportunity to do a lot of things, including movies, but movies never interested me, really. It was too long a process. I liked that instant gratification of the, you know, smaller movies, commercials, TV, photo shoots.
So Brian, I know that you work here at David Rios. They've been so kind to let us come and film today.
Yes.
It's a gorgeous salon.
Yes.
How do you balance being an on-set stylist with THE and having a private client base at David Rios?
Well, I have total control over my schedule. I'm lucky enough that David and his business partner Didier allowed me to have control over my schedule, and so I book my own clients and I do it around all my freelance work.
That's excellent. I know that's difficult.
Which is it is very difficult, and not everyone's lucky enough to have salon owners that are flexible and understanding of that. But from the start, I told them that's how I needed it to be, and I was lucky enough for them to agree, and they went with it.
Do you have any special stories, anything that really impacted your career that you would like to share?
No, I guess there were moments, and there were some things that impacted my career, but overall, I think my whole career has been impacted for me, because I never expected. You dream and you fantasize, but you never really. I mean, there's no guarantee or anything, but from someone who came from, you know, Maryland and like found their way with no guidance and no like map of plans to end up how I ended up. It was quite, I mean, the whole trip has been amazing, and it still is to this day. You know, I still pinch myself sometimes like, wow, you know, it really happened, and it's really still happening, and I'm really, you know, I still love it just as much as I did, you know, 35 years ago.
So it's been so amazing representing you, Brian, and I
Thank you.
really appreciate so much you agreeing to show us a tutorial on bridal hair today.
Well, I'm excited too, because it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So, and I've always been told I'd be a good teacher. So maybe this is my chance to give it a go and see if I really would be.
So stay tuned for our future tutorials with Brian Oliver. To become a THE Insider, please subscribe to our channel. Let the beauty begin.